Following two races on some of the longest circuits in the NASCAR scene, here we are once again, this time at Rockingham Raceway, of course, one of the most iconic tracks in the North Carolina racing scene. The Rock here for the third race of the Integrity Octane Series season. Qualifying already is underway as we get things started. Nick Terrible's going to be top of the board as we have just about 30 drivers getting ready to get it done here at one of iRacing's toughest tracks. And I tell you what, it's one of the more ironic tracks in a sense. One of the tracks that has not been updated in about a decade. The NASCAR Camping World truck graphics litter fans, stands, they litter the walls, and despite the challenge, here we are with the newest NASCAR Cup Series machines, as right now Joe Yates going to be coming down onto pit road. Jacob Fife going to be in the Triple P Pro Powder and Paint number 36 machine going way up high, and this is a track filled with character, and that's what we're going to be talking about all night long. Is Jacob Fife going to be able to take it up into what looks to be position number, and it looks like he's going to stay down there for only a moment. Now he's going to be in third position, just a thousandth off of the front row. Nice job for Jacob Fife as drivers are still getting on their way. Stephen Wetton looks to be done with 2 time laps. Mike Maddox, similar position as Jorge Canales in the number 84 machine gets on his moving. It looks like the movement there for the 84 machine is evident. Rockingham has not been repaved in decades. The last time, as we mentioned in chat, that these cars, or rather the ancestors of these cars when it comes to the mechanical blood in them, well, they last took on Rockingham in 2004. Years and years ago, and now these next gens getting ready to take on a tricky circuit with an even trickier configuration. A mile in length, and it's about as long as the track like the Milwaukee Mile or New Hampshire, but with a whole different twist. It's like a D-shaped trioval akin to what we saw last night in Las Vegas, but imagine that, a bit smaller, a bit shorter, and also a bit trickier with the way this track feels. Matt Johnnett's going to be on the board, 19th at the moment. In the number 15 is going to be Trevor Trago there as well. Jorge Canales in the 84 still on track. Looks like only 22 drivers we were able to take a time lap here in qualifying, so an awful lot of drivers going to be calculated based on iRating, and it's going to be an automatic formulation to give these drivers their position. Kevin Matz had a standout performance last night in Vegas, qualified in the 41st position and drove his way up to a top 10 finish at night's end. And now, with about 50 seconds on the board here in qualifying, he's going to be 15th on the charts, and that's a much better start, so we'll see what the 50 can do when qualifying is in his favor. Guillermo Alvarez in the number 83 looks to be done and done this time by Got Milk on the hood of that car, and it looks like he's got pace. Going to be position number 2 in qualifying to Nick Terrible in the number 4. Now it looks like Trevor Trago, one of the only drivers eligible to take one more lap. He will not, and Stephen Wetton in the same boat. So right now qualifying appears to be all but over as Kevin Matz, one of the final drivers to be rounding this one out. And here we go again in the Rock. We came here last week with the Ignite Series, a great race there, and that ignited the flame as we get your starting grid for the night's event here in the Rock, live in action. It is a Tuesday night spectacle in the Integrity Octane Series once again. After 2 races at Daytona and Auto Club, this will be your starting grid for tonight's show. It looks like about 30 drivers going to get registered for this session. They'll all be ready to take on Thunder Alley, the back straightaway, and everything else on the circuit. Let's get your starting grid out for tonight's event. This is the 3rd round of the season here in the Rock, and this is, of course, your front row as well as the remainder of the starting grid. Nick Terrible is going to be top of the board with a 23.703, and Guillermo Alvarez is going to be in second with a 23.758. Cody Smith going to be in third with an 18 position. Of course, the numeric font there, it's going to be Ariel with that number 18 in third, and Jacob Fife going to double up on the number and be right behind him in about a thousandths back, 4th position, 23.820. Then Don Stevenson going to be in the 5th spot there, 23.836, and Caitlin Haight going to be in 6th after winning at Auto Club last time we went racing. Ross Cato going to be number 12 on the board there, position number 7 in your starting grid, and Seth Well going to be there on his way, and he's going to be in position number 8. It's going to be Ryan Farrell, or Farrell Ryan, as it looks like the name's messed up there. The number 9 spot on the grid with Sam Nito rounding out your top 10. Then from there on out, it's going to be the driver of Nicholas Ward in 11th, and Brad Patton there in 12th. Alan Dobbs 13th. Joe Yates going to be in 14th as Kevin Max is P15, and Bobby Ross is going to be in 16th. Then it's going to be Luis Caballero there in 17th. Trevor Trago in 18th, and Matt John is going to be 19th with Alan Rowell with 24.334 in 20th. From there, it's going to be Stephen Wettenwheel, 24.335. The number 58 machine is in 21st. And then it's going to be Mike Maddox there in the number 30, right beside him. Ethan Lane, last night's winner at Las Vegas. He was able to gamble it and get that jackpot. Coming home, top of the board with the Xfinity cars, taking on the next gens here. 23rd on the charts. The first driver to not qualify, he will be set on the grid by iRacing. Jay Haishman going to be there in the number 24 spot on the grid. The 06 machine looking through what he has as Christopher Schessler looking to bounce back from last week at Auto Club. He's going to be 25th. Stan Carnathan, one of the rookies to look out for this season, has put together 2 solid runs so far. He's not going to be far out the picture. He's in 26th as Jorge Canales not able to get a full-time lap. He's going to be number 84 machine, position 27. Then it's going to be Guy Petra, the number 8 machine, 28th on the board. Boomer Logan, second race of the season for him, the 94, 29th, and Randy Fiash going to be there in the 30th position. And from there on out, we still have one more driver. Or is it? And that will be it. Your final driver going to be Fiash, and that will settle the score. That is your starting grid for tonight's event, the 3rd event of the season, the Integrity Octane Series. This is The Rock, and we will get timing and scoring back on your screen. Warm up in procession here, and it's going to be all about the drivers up front at the start of this one. Of course, with that advantage at the start, qualifying up front of The Rock means a whole lot, and we saw in the Ignite Series, if you start there, you got a great shot to make it happen. Ethan Lane able to grab the pole and the victory at The Rock. Rockingham was his playground, and now, well, he's going to be starting deeper in the field. Not going to have that advantage. So advantageous position for the man who's going to start at the top of the board. Well, that's evident, and it looks like we'll try to get a word with him this time by. Drivers still going to be going through on your screen. Alvarez is going to be there in frame, following Christopher Schessler as we get your ticker back on air. This is the warm-up portion of the event as drivers get in their final seconds on the circuit, and still time for these guys to practice as Nick Terabich, the man we hope to focus on, is currently top of the board here in a warm-up. Let's get an interview with the man who's going to be starting first tonight in The Rock. Getting a word with the man who's going to be starting, of course, in that pole position. It will be Nick Terabich, number 29 machine last night with a number 4 machine going position number 1 on the board so far. Going to get that pole as we get things started in just a minute's time. Nick Terabich, how you feeling?
Oh, man, not too bad. How are you feeling?
Well, feeling good about this race. We saw a great one of the Ignite Series at this very track, so we have seen some great performances put on thus far. The next gen's going to be a whole different ballpark, though. What's it going to take for you to come out on top?
Well, it seems if practice is anything to go by, it's going to be kind of difficult to pass. So my goal for qualifying was to get as far up as I could, and I accomplished that. So we will see what happens. I mean, I think turn 2 is going to be really sketchy for a lot of drivers, including myself. So we'll see if I can bin it on the first lap out of 2 or not. But in general, I think just staying clean and really taking it easy on the tires, you can go a long way with fuel tonight. So trying to keep those tires in a working manner the whole time is going to be kind of rough.
And it looks like tires are going to be a big factor here. Rockingham has not been paved in quite a long time in this iRacing scan. Well, it shows it as we get to the grid this time by. Any final thoughts before we head into the show?
No, just thanks for broadcasting. Hope everybody watching has a good time watching the race. It's going to be a fun one.
And there we have it. Nick Terabich going to lead this fun one off top of the board in qualifying pole position for the number 4 once more. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Drag him right back in. That's going to be Terabich, the number 4 machine tonight. And he is going to be out there, position number 1. We're going to get the grid on your screen there. Nick Terabich is leading off the number 18 machine of Cody Smith. We'll talk more about his paint scheme as the night goes on. And Terabich representing, of course, his own with that number 4, and he has been representing Kevin Harvick's proud. Certainly a Kevin Harvick fan, the way we've seen him run the 29 on Monday nights and now running the 4. So it shows sort of the stages of Kevin Harvick's career. Guillermo Alvarez getting right there with him, and don't count the man to the number 83 out. He seems to have an awful lot of pace, and while this race has not began, he has something to prove, and that 83 looking for win number 1 on the season after, of course, 2 victories. He was in touching distance out for at least some portion of both of them, but now it's not everyone's game. Going to be a much slower track, but much quicker lap time, so you have to be on it every second of the way. Jacob Fife going to be there in the Triple P Pro Powder and Paint Machine, your league owner, right beside Cody Smith, who's going to be the flag bearer for Next Level Racing tonight. And Next Level Racing, an incredible partner of this league. Got to thank them for stepping on board and bringing together a next level partnership. And every champion of this season, or rather this series this year, they're going to be able to come home with some incredible Next Level Racing hardware. We'll get into that when the playoffs and the clash, as they call it, begins very soon here in the Integrity Racing League. But now Cody Smith looking to do Next Level Racing proud and put himself on the next level for his first win of the year here, of course, in the Octane Series. As we get things started, it's going to be the man out in front. Actually, Cody Smith already has 1 done this year. That's going to be, of course, at Daytona, but now looking for 1 off of the super speedways. And we get our stats wrong a bit there, but nonetheless, that 18 machine has been out in front all season, looking to make it 2 for 3 tonight. He's 50-50, so batting 500 so far, but this is not baseball, it's racing, and it's any man's race as we get this thing started. The 4 machine right there with the 83, and it's going to be the pace car diving off, this time by iRacing's official pace car. Going to be on the move as we get this thing green, and Barney the Flyman going to be waving it as we go underway for the 3rd race here in the Rock. And now Guillermo Alvarez still going to be side by side with the man in that number 4 machine. Alvarez able to hold on, and it looks like he will be able to hold on strong enough to take the lead immediately over Nick Tarabuch. That starts something you dream of when you're a driver. Rockingham is tough, and Tarabuch mentioned it to us. It's going to be all about surviving that first lap and not going 100% in the hopes that you keep your car together. There's one driver going to dive all the way to the apron there. I'm not sure what that's going to be about, but it looks like one driver falling through big time. As we keep it going, it could be Matt Jonas, and that it looks like it is having a bit of trouble getting it rolling. As Jorge Canal is going to be 1 lap down now. The 84 machine looks like he missed the start and is going to be on the track now, but Guillermo Alvarez in the 83 going to be top of the board. Then it's going to be Nick Tarabuch in 2nd, Jacob Fife in 3rd, and Cody Smith in 4th. It's a pack is brewing already, and Don Stevenson able to be the leader of this pack, and that's of course what you want to be, the leader in any circumstance. And Stevenson seeing the double file action and the chaos already, he knows he does not want any part of it. He's currently 6th right now, right in front of that battle that's now beginning to brew between Brad Patton in the number 1 machine for RaceCBI.com and Seth Noel in the 88. Nicholas Ward going to be 10th on the board so far, and now Ward's going to go a little bit higher as he goes on the high side, both in position and in racing groove. On the 88 of Seth Noel, now he's going to be able to take that spot in the Coors number 97. And looks like the high groove is forming up for these drivers up front, and you can see Nicholas Ward able to use it to his advantage there, but Sam Nito going to take it a bit higher this time by, and it looks like the momentum going to be able to carry him through that time by. Sam Nito going to be a total of about 5 miles an hour faster than Seth Noel off of exit there on the corner. So he's got a big edge as he gets down to the inside line once again, and these guys are carrying each other through, and Seth Noel going to be in a bit of trouble as a result. Taking a look at the rear end there, and the man in that number 88 machine has some pressure on both fronts, and that's going to be with both Bobby Ryan and actually Bobby Ross and Farrell Ryan, as they both get very close to one another and get themselves mixed up. It's going to be the 44 machine of Bobby Ross now putting on a bit more pressure as Seth Noel holds on in position number 12. And Bobby Ross getting oh so close this time by, riding on board now inside the cockpit. You can see he goes up high once again, trying to make it so, and it looks like he has something going. Momentum going to be able to carry him out just a bit, but it's going to be a bit of a squirrely exit, and then it comes back into the favor of the number 88, and Bobby Ross holding on nice and smooth so far, but not enough to make that pass on Seth Noel. As guys are beginning to spread themselves out. Guillermo Alvarez leads by a second. Nick Tarabuch looks to be playing it calm and collected so far. he got through that first lap that he spoke of, and now it's going to be all about getting there until the end. A bit of a shorter race than what we saw last night on, of course, the Monday Night Ignite Series. A good majority of the drivers who we saw last night will be here as well, one of which, of course, your race winner. Last time we went at it, it was Ethan Lane, and currently Ethan Lane in that number 26 machine, going to be in 18th, clawing his way through. The matte black number 26, no sponsors, no nothing, just carrying himself and himself only, as he's got Kevin Matz right in front of him. 9 laps in out of 175. Tire degradation has not been too much just yet. Alvarez only 1/10 off his best lap overall, but still a short run we have seen, and a lot of time for these guys to prove what they've got in store with their cars. Fords, Toyotas, Chevys, are all equal, but compared to how they were last night, they're different, and that's in a few ways. Let's ride on board with Ethan Lane inside the cockpit. As a matter of fact, check exactly what he sees. Look at that rev permitted, that tachometer. You can see these guys get up to 84, 85. Now, the next gens have an update coming from iRacing. A big update this week, able to get a lot of stuff done when it comes to the efficiency and performance of the simulator, but including itself in that update, these guys can only rev up to about 9,000 revs emitted in these next-gen machines. As a result, it's going to be a bit harder to put the power down optimally if you have damage. You can't get up to almost 10,000 like you used to be able to. With all these changes, of course, promoting realism and accuracy on the iRacing platform, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to for some drivers, but some guys suiting up to it immediately now, as it's going to be Ethan Lane taking it on the inside of Kevin Matz, and Matt's going to give him a lot of room, and it looks like that's going to be a nice and fair battle if it is a battle, and so far it is not. Lane gets by low and steady. Well, that's not going to be what wins the race. That time by Lane able to push and make himself through. Alan Dom's going to be position number 16, and Luis Caballero going to be there in the 91 in the top 15, as Farrell Ryan holds on strong right behind him. Now it's going to be Ryan side by side with Seth Dwell. There's Dwell holds on to the high side, and nobody else there with them. Only one retiree so far, the 94 of Boomer Logan. So it looks like right now 29 drivers going to be on the track, and 28 of which going to be currently on the lead lap. So an awful lot of time for these guys to get it situated, as Seth Dwell going to be right there with the pack. Bobby Ross going to go a bit higher there than Joe Yakes, and Yakes still able to hold on so far, but Bobby Ross with that Hot Wheels number 44 has been riding it hot on the high side. You can see he takes it much higher than any other driver there in frame. We'll try to get a bit more steady shot through the corners and take a more in-depth look. You can see Joe Yakes backs it down a bit lower than he does. Ross Cato goes about a car length lower entirely, and now a car width lower, as the 44 machine using that all to his advantage to make something happen and trying to pull himself back up to the battle up front. Closest battle, as a matter of fact, Ethan Lane and Alan Dobbs now, and Ethan Lane able to use that lesser amount of distance to counteract Alan Dobbs using that momentum, but now the momentum able to play itself into the beneficiary, and Alan Dobbs going to be able to get by nice and smooth on Ethan Lane. Not much the 26 machine can do just yet, but hold on for the ride, as Dobbs now going to go down to the apron. Now he's going to come right back up the track. Kevin Matt's going to hit him, and that's going to be your first yellow of the night. Alan Dobbs down and around. Nobody else going to hit him, thankfully, but that is caution number 1, and we're going to try to check what just happened. Instant replay on the matter and see what caused that one. It looks like Alan Dobbs just got a bit squirrely, and you can see he's pushing very hard to keep himself in front of Ethan Lane, and he comes right back up the track, not able to save it in the grass there, and that brings out your yellow, a safety yellow, to make sure that no other driver is afflicted in the incident. Thankfully, nobody else is. 17 laps in out of 175. Nobody else gets involved with caution number 1, and that's going to be your first caution of the night. 17 in out of 175. Alan Dobbs goes down and around. Not a lot of damage for him so far, although it looks like now he's going to be way slowed down, catching up to the iRacing official pace car, and it's going to pass him this time by. And it looks like Cody Smith still going to be in fourth behind Jacob Fife, Nick Tarabuch, and Guillermo Alvarez, and Next Level Racing bringing together some of the best equipment on sim racing, whether it's iRacing or whatever else you use. Next Level Racing is the way to go for all your hardware and equipment. We're going to bring to you our first yellow flag, Next Level Racing advertisement break. We'll be right back. You won't miss a thing. We will only do these under yellow. Thank you for your support. We're going to thank Next Level Racing for their support of the Integrity Racing League. And as we return from our first Next Level Racing advertisement break of the night, once again, we want to thank Next Level Racing for their support of the Integrity Racing League and the Integrity Octane Series, as right now Guillermo Alvarez bearing the torch here at 83 machine far out in front as drivers in the back of the pack begin to go to pit road. Kevin Matz looks to be on a new stint. Guy Petra coming in at the moment, and Stephen Witten going to be able to keep himself on the track, but it looks like he's on a one-lap old set, so drivers coming in now or coming in very recently as Guillermo Verse going to be the sponsor on that number 84, moving themselves into pit road. Now Randy Fiash going to be there as well in the Eagles number 19 machine, and not soaring so far, but it's going to be all about the late game. Getting some tires here, as I do believe we have a tire set limit as well. Alvarez out in front. Terabit's going to be there in second. And Jacob Fife holds on to position number 3. 19 laps in out of a total of 175. The number 83 machine still going to be able to hold on out in front with Nick Terabit in position number 2. Cody Smith going to be in 4th as well, and it looks like he's going to be able to hold on. It's Brad Patton rounds out your top 5, and Patton holding on to that number 1 machine, a much different look than what he's been running very recently. Brad Patton, of course, representing Race EPI. He will hold on to the top 5 as this time by we go. Looks to be 1 lap to green, 20 laps in out of 175 as we get things back on our way. Alvarez holding on with Nick Terabit so far, and Alvarez able to gain about a second or so on him that time through. Now the question becomes for every driver, and of course I'm going to ask the question out here, what's it going to be when it comes to tire strategy? Was Alvarez pushing? And that's going to be the big factor. If Guillermo Alvarez was pushing through that run, well, Nick Terabit should have a much better chance to hold on to him as we get back into the swing of things this time by. But if he was not, well, there might be a trick under his sleeve that 83 machine might just have. The Got Milk number 83 machine has that speed, and he's got it for certain as we get back to it this time through. Double filed we are. The 83 machine of Alvarez holding on strong. Only one other retiree besides Boomer Logan. That's going to be Mike Maddox down and out of this event. And here we go again. 3rd round of the season, first restart of the night, and we'll get it back underway. This time through, Alvarez going to be able to hold on with Nick Terabit right beside him. Outside is the control car as we are green once again for the first restart of the night here in the Rock. And Alvarez able to get a nice and clean start. Once again, Jacob Fife going to be side by side with Cody Smith. That time by, Smith going to be able to get the edge. And Brad Patton going to be right there with Jacob Fife now. And Fife going to be on the low line. But Brad Patton has that high side. And Jacob Fife gets a bit squirrely, evidently, as he's going to lose a bit of time. And now it's going to be Brad Patton clear for position number 4. And Patton playing the long game there, able to use it nice and smooth to get himself out in front as Sam Nito, the number 2 machine, going to pounce on the opportunity. And Jacob Fife appears to be in just a bit of trouble. Watch on board of the 36 machine. Might just be losing a bit of grip, maybe a bit of patience here as well. Although looking at the handwork, it's just going to be a bit of a bobble there off of corner exit. And that's what loses you all that time. As you try to correct the car, you might back off the throttle, might get a bit more nervous. And Jacob Fife, that seems to be the case for him, as Nicholas Ward is right there with him, and so is Don Stevenson. Stevenson going to be down and away this time through. It's going to be the 47 in front of the 36. And while Jacob Fife is holding on to that dominating line when it comes to the lack of distance he has to travel, the momentum just isn't there as he tries to block Nicholas Ward. Not going to be able to make much happen. And Ward now going to have to resituate himself as 24 laps in at 175. We are not even close to halfway here. Still, these guys have time to formulate their strategy and think about it as we have one in the background that's going to go way around. Caution's going to be out. Farrell Ryan going to be big time involved as it's going to be Luis Caballero touched up as well. We'll take a quick look at what just happened. The 93 of Farrell Ryan going to be there in the back of the pack, and guys still going to be trying to get their way out. Trevor Trago able to maneuver his way through, and here we go again. Instant replay on the matter, and you can see Farrell Ryan already down and around by that point, so we'll take it back 5 more seconds. Ryan gets on the paint there, steps out just a bit, and the Rock's gonna take another. As you would see, Caballero has no choice but to run right in. Stan Carnathan able to get right out of the shot, and almost going to be a hit there for the driver of that number 58. That is going to be Kevin Matz. Comes back up the track, and then Trevor Trago backs it up to a halt. And now it looks like a parking lot for just a moment, but everyone able to get it back out once again. So not a major incident just yet, and it's going to be Farrell Ryan involved with some minor damage. These guys should be able to continue but it's still going to be not the situation they want to be in. A bit of a shorter run compared to what we had last time through Farrell Ryan, where the drivers involved and these composite bodies on the next gens allow for drivers to run in spite of damage. So as we head to our second caution, we're going to bang these out very early. Your second caution break, going to bring out your second Next Level Racing ad. We'll be right back. Once again, Next Level Racing, the best equipment on the sim racing scene. We hope you enjoy our brief presentation. You won't miss a beat. You're live on FTN. This is the Integrity Octane Series. Stick around for just a minute here, and we will return with all the coverage. And there we have it. That is our second Next Level Racing advertisement break. Once again, we want to thank Next Level Racing for stepping on board with the Integrity Racing League as they bring to you your first 3 cautions of the night. We've gotten through 2 so far. 1 more spot for them remaining. We're going to thank them once again as they continue to elevate this league to the best it can be. Integrity Racing League doing it right since 2012. Right now, it looks like 27 laps in out of 175, and Guillermo Alvarez going to be able to lead off Nick Tarabuch, Brad Patton, and Sam Nito so far, and Brad Patton going to be elevating himself up into the podium. So right now, Brad Patton's the man who's kicking it up to the next level. We'll get a word with him as the number 1 machine now up into 3rd. Let's get what we can see for the driver of the number 1 machine as Brad Patton currently position number 3 on the board and elevating himself time after time, lap after lap. This looks to be one of the men on the move, and we will get him in right here and right now. Brad Patton, number 1 machine, you're currently up to 3rd. You're making your way up lap after lap, so few short runs back to back here. What's it going to take from here on out?
I'm still trying to figure out the track here. I didn't get any practicing because I had to do the update and I was doing other stuff, so we're just going to keep riding and keep trying to find speed.
And looks like riding with an awful lot of pace so far. Nobody else going to be on the level except for the guys who've been running up front, and you are clawing through the field. So what's the mindset here as we go 1 lap to green? Long run, short run?
The mindset would be just to survive for now. Wait till the end, then we'll try to make something happen. But for now, it's just survival, really. Test out the car on how it feels on the track and go from there.
And there we have it. Survival the goal for Brad Patton, currently 3rd on the board. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Drag him right back in here as we get back on our way. Patton's in 3rd, and still going to be Alvarez there as well. Kenny Real going to be right there, and unfortunately, Kenny Real not going to be able to make tonight's race, and we hope to see him back once again next week at Las Vegas. And we hope to see you, of course, in the driver's seat as it looks like back-to-back weeks just not able to make it happen. Certainly a great addition to this league, which sometimes things don't go people's way. Second restart of the night here. Guillermo Alvarez still going to be far out in front as we get it going. Once again, green flag's going to be out. And Alvarez able to take it nice and smooth once again, gains a half second already as Sam Nito goes up to the high side there and tries to make it work on Brad Patton. Double file they go, the number 2 and the number 1 machine, and they are oh so close to contact, but nothing just yet. It's going to be Nito going up to the high side and Brad Patton right there on the bottom, able to hold on nice and steady. 2 Fords doing battle, and it looks like Nito going to be able to get out with the advantageous move. Don Stevenson right there with Nicholas Ward and Ethan Lane going to be right there on the inside line, and he's going to be riding the paint here. So riding the paint seems to be a bit of a risky decision, but some drivers are evidently making it work, and it seems like the more and more we see drivers do it, the more and more it becomes a bit riskier. Ethan Lane, last yellow we had, he might just know it, but it was riding the paint that might have led to it, but there's a bit more grip down there if you're able to make it happen, and Ethan Lane certainly choosing to take that risk over anything right now as he's going to go down to the inside line once again there on Nicholas Ward, and side by side they all move. Don Stevenson going to be now single file as Lane makes his way back up into the 7th spot and clawing through the field once again. He did this at Las Vegas last night in the Xfinity Series machines which seemed to be his powerhouse. Every time he straps into one of them, he seems to be one of the fastest men on the circuit tonight. Well, next gens, but it looks to be no different. Lane now going to be in the top 10 as he fights his way through the field. Cody Smith with Don Stevenson. Brad Patton going to be in third. Now down to the fourth as Sam Nita going to be able to take that spot and now chase down Nick Tarabuch. Tarabuch going to be right beside the leading battle. Of course, not much of a battle just yet as you ride on board with the man in that number 4 machine. This is Nick Tarabuch's onboard perspective, the rear end, showing all that has to be seen as he's got a load of Sam Nito right behind him. It's going to be a handful to manage the car, and he's got an eyeful in that rear view mirror. It looks like this is just about all he sees. The fans going to be crowding the stands, of course, but all focused on the battle for what could be second if he slips up even once. And it's all about keeping your mistakes down to an absolute minimum here at Rockingham. 2 minor mistakes lead to 2 major incidents already tonight, and that is going to show you the way these guys continue to drive it. Chris Schetzer going to be right there with Alan Rowell. Jay Hageman gets by for 15th. Schetzer able to hold on nice and steady. Alan Rowell going to try to dive it in just a bit. No dice that time by, and Trago right there in the number 37. Matt Jonas holds on that number 19 spot. When it comes to position, is his so far, with Stephen Wetton, who appears to be a debutant this season in this event, is right there in the number 58, holding on nice and smooth. Guy Petra, number 22 on the board, he's going to be right there in the Carroll Shelby, number 8 machine. A beautiful look there, and a throwback to the way it was when Ford began their racing program overseas, and NASCAR going to Le Mans next time we go, of course, for the 24-hour event, the Circuit de la Sarge. And now, of course, a throwback here to the days where Ford was on top overall, and they came home with 3 victories consecutively, even against the Porsche prototype in 1969, with incredible drivers in their fleet. I'm thinking of Ken Miles, I'm thinking of Mario Andretti, I'm thinking of guys like Denny Holm, Bruce McLaren, all these incredible drivers who are leading the fray in the international racing scene for Ford. Well, now the American scene dominating. They won with Joey Logano last season in the Cup Series, and right now, Ford being done proud with the number 8 machine on Guy Petra, trying to get himself back under the top 20. Guillermo Alvarez for Chevrolet, however, still leads the way here as been able to hold on nice and smooth. That number 83 machine, 38 laps in, has seen minimal competition. Nick Tarabuch right there in that second spot. Now he's going to be out 0.4 of a second away, so he's gaining in slowly but surely, but not quickly enough to make much happen. And we'll see whether or not he's able to make any moves, any gains. They're going to be substantial because so far it just doesn't look like it's gone his way in that regard. No dice, but he's got a lot of time to make it nice as it's 39 laps in out of 175. Brad Patton going to be right there as there's a side-by-side battle between Cody Smith for a moment with Nicholas Ward, and Smith has fallen down to 7th from what was the 4th position. High side looks like Brad Patton going to be fighting with Ethan Lane, and Ethan Lane going to be able to make his own and go down to the inside line and get it there on Brad Patton. Not at the line. That's going to be a photo finisher. It was at the last lap, but it's going to be Ethan Lane down to the inside once more, and he's been able to put the pressure on every driver in this event. Nice and smooth. That time by fastest driver on the circuit by about 1/10 of a second. A 2.65 versus your leader 3.33 on the dot. 24-second laps nonetheless, so I'd admit I might be a bit wrong when it comes to tire degradation, dropping these guys down in terms of seconds. It's all going to be about control. If you can't control the car, you are going to be in no man's land. This track is fast no matter how long you run it. And a long green flag run won't take that characteristic away. 41 laps in out of 175. Ethan Lane makes it up into position number 4. Caitlin Haight going to be right there, and the number 11 machine will be riding with Joe Yakes here as Cody Smith going to be right there in the 9th position. Seth Well, 8th right now, barreling it in on Nicholas Ward, position number 7. This is going to be a close fight in the top 10 as they're going to go side by side right behind him. And Cody Smith getting pressured by last week's winner and Caitlin Haight now to BMW after a victory in an Audi. So custom manufacturers brought to the table with the number 11 machine, and she's on a roll so far as the 18 of Cody Smith going to be able to hold on for now, but certainly losing momentum. Jacob Fife sighting himself into the 11th spot, but right now he's going to have to fight with the 12th as he's going to be currently in 12th, but Ross Cato goes out of the inside line, and his sights are set to get that spot back, reclaiming that position. It's all that the number 12 machine has his focus on, as it's going to be down to the inside line. Jacob Fife on Joe Yakes, and the 36 machine able to make it dead even this time by 43 laps in. He's got an awful lot of time to make up to get into the top 10, and Caitlin Haight to be able to pull away, and actually was faster that time through by about 0.2 of a second. So Jacob Fife holding himself back by battling with these drivers, but it looks like that pace is going to be able to come in, and he's going to hold on to a spot outside the top 10 and put himself in the battle, as we have one driver running way slow on the back of the track. It's not going to be Stephen Wetton. It looks to be Luis Caballero, and Caballero has a big problem. Let's find out just what happened. 20-second instant replay on the matter. Caballero at that point was still running slow, and that just looks to be damage here. Something is wrong with the number 91 machine, and has been for quite a while. He's still driving slow in the apron, and you can see the front end is all banged up as we try to look at the rear chase there to get a bit more of an in-depth angle. Riding with a drone shot close in, you can see compared to any other driver, that's going to be a car in big trouble. The catch fence right there in frame as well. And if you compare it to the leader of Nick Terrible, that's going to be an extruding front end. Looks like the 91 is going to have one that goes right inside the cars. We're riding up over the new drone shots. Courtesy of TrackCams22.com, the best cameras in the business here. And you can watch on board from the back end here and see how these guys take the elevation. This is one of the best cameras on iRacing, and the ability for them to calculate every single centimeter, every inch, what have you, of information gives you this incredible experience. It's an up and down ride like a roller coaster here at the Rock, and you can see the bobbling like the bobblehead as the number 4 machine putting the tires down to the pavement time after time, but having just a bit of trouble holding on to it with an excess amount of control. He does not have much so far. We will see what he's able to hold on to as the number 4 machine for Tarabuch comes down to the stripe. Once again, Ethan Lane now in second, side by side with Sam Nito. We get the extended drone shot here, and you can see that Ethan Lane going to be able to get by, and now Sam Nito is not even in the playing field as Lane gets way up high there and backs it in to the apex a little later. Going to take that high side and get amazing momentum out once again, and Lane looking to do the sweep. Win on Monday, win on Tuesday, and they always used to say, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. But here, there's nothing about selling. It's all about putting yourself in the game night after night on iRacing. And Ethan Lane able to do so quite nicely. 2 Fords chasing a Chevy here in North Carolina. It's going to be up high once again. Ethan Lane goes, and he's just able to barrel down with momentum. This time by, Ethan Lane is going to come off that straightaway at 160 miles an hour, and it's going to be taking the Tarabuch machine about a second later to get up to 160, as Ethan Lane is using that high side effectively. No other driver seems to be able to go as high as he can so far, and he gets a bit squirrely that time through, but the speed is undeniable. They're catching up to what looks to be the first lap driver with some pace here, and we'll see what he does, as it could be Caballero once again. No, it is not. It's Kevin Matz. So Kevin Matz having a bit of a backward night, and he's going to be currently in 26. The 50 machine going to be one of those cars that doesn't look to have a visible damage. Going to be a crease there on the right side, but not all too much to worry about. Cautions out. 51 in out of a 175 distance, and Farrell Ryan involved once again. The 93 going to be in an awful lot of trouble here at the Rock. Let's take a quick look at what just happened. And Farrell going to be running side by side with Bobby Ross right behind Chris Schexler. And then Alan Rawa was in that mix as well. And then he just gets it on the paint once again. And that's what we talked about. You get it under that apron, you are done for. Trevor Trago going to knock into Farrell Ryan this time by. Ryan able to lock it up nice and smooth, but not what he wants at all. And the 93 machine going to go down and around that time through, so nothing good for the 93 thus far. And he's going to try to pick himself back up once again. Still on the track here, not a lot of damage, but second yellow that he's involved in thus far. Third yellow on the night overall. As we get things back up front, we'll see if they come to pit road this time by. 52 laps hit at 175, and you know what that means. We've gotten through a good majority of the first half, if not the entirety of it. Well, we'll come in this time by and top off. It's going to be Nick Tarabuch leading them down into pit road. And you can see the entirety of this field coming in a uniform fashion. It's Guillermo Alvarez right there, but leading the fray on pit road. Well, it's going to be who else in that number 4 machine. As we're watching over the close-up drone shot, Tarabuch could have come in this time by in the 4, and here he will go. A curved pit road akin to a track like Phoenix. And actually, Phoenix might have a few more similar characteristics than it's originally anticipated, about a 1-mile circuit as well, with that curved pit road and a challenging track. As you can see, drivers are already in, and this will be the race off. Tarabuch going to be one of those men on the top of the game as we watch your pit road exit camera. Here we go again. Tarabuch going to be the first man off right in front of Sam Nito. Then it's going to be Ethan Lane, Brad Patton, Seth Well, Guillermo Alvarez. Right behind him is going to be Joe Yakes, Don Stevenson, Jay Haishman, Nicholas Ward, and then Cody Smith, Jacob Fife, Ross Cato, and Chris Schessler. Then Alan Dobbs, then Bobby Ross, and Kevin Matz is right now. Caitlin Haight is your leader. 53 laps in, and this will bring to you your third and final advertisement break, courtesy of Next Level Racing. Pushing sim racing to the next level with equipment is going to be Caitlin Haight coming into pit road this time by, as it will be the man in that number 4 machine leading the way now. It's Nick Terabach, top of the board, as we head to our third and final Next Level Racing break of the night. And there you have it. That is your third and final Next Level Racing advertisement break on tonight. Got to thank them once again for stopping by and supporting this league as we get back on the move. Your third and final as we go advertisement free from here on out, at least when it comes to full screen programming, as it's going to be all about the cars from here on out. And it's going to be Nick Terabach, top of the board so far as we go one lap to green. This time by, when it comes down to community, we hope to be a community as we get this thing on the road once again. If you want to join the fun in the Fireball Talks NASCAR YouTube channel, be sure to scan our QR code or go to the Discord link in our description. Our official Discord server is up, and anyone can join. If you want to join as a driver, as a viewer, find out what we're doing week after week, be sure to stop by for broadcasting inquiries. Be sure to message us in the server as well. We'd love to have you as a part of the Fireball Talks NASCAR team, as a league owner, as a broadcaster, what have you. We'd love to see you in our server communicating with us, as we'd love to have more and more of you viewers. Your patience, your communication, and your time that you spend on this channel is key to our success. We get it rolling once again this time by 55 laps in out of a total of 175 here in Rockingham. Nobody on the level of Nick Terabach thus far, but Ethan Lane looking to put an end to his dominance and putting a cap on this week. Yet another victory in succession. It could happen, it could not. It's all about what he makes of it as we get back to the green this time by 55 laps in out of 175, and we will go green once more. Terabach's going to be there with Sam Nito and Ethan Lane in third. Here we go again. Third restart of the night going to be led by Nick Terabach. The iRacing official pace car is off. Let's go racing once again. Big wreck is going to be Sam Nito down and around. This is going to be a huge incident, so we're going to have the caution flag out immediately thereafter. This is going to be one that these drivers would like to forget, an immediate yellow flag, and we will not have their third restart on the night. And we don't even get past the start-finish line. Let's find out just what happened here as drivers come in, and it looks like wheel spin for Sam Nito. Backs him into Brad Patton, gets almost into Seth Well. Guillermo Alvarez into Joe Yakes, and this becomes a mess. Drivers into one another like it is nothing, and drivers continue to get into each other. It's going to be Cody Smith, then Nicholas Ward. Matt Jonas backs himself in. Chris Schessler going to be there as well. Bobby Ross gets himself out. Alan Dobbs there, and that's a big one, as we do not appear to have any driver outside of that top 5, top 10 able to avoid unscathed. Alan Rowell goes to the grass, and we are under yellow once again here in Rockingham. And right now, Nick Terabach going to be out in front as the pace car going to be able to get right by him, and we will reorganize once more and get ourselves back on the move. It's going to be Seth Well in position number 4 here. His drivers have to come down on pit road once again, and it looks like drivers, very few will come down pit road for anything more than damages. It looks like guys, including Luis Caballero, are on the track, but some will choose to come in. Alan Rowell going to be one of which. Matt Jonas there as well. And then after that, Jay Heishman going to be on the track while Randy Fiash comes in with Kevin Nats. So going to be a bit of a shuffle as we have Nick Terabach still top of the board here in Rockingham. And as a matter of fact, we try to get a word with the driver we have not spoken to just yet. How about Seth Well, currently going to be 4th on the charts, 57 laps in out of 175. And Seth Well so far going to be one of those guys you'd love to talk to. He's up in front, has a lot of pace and performance in the books here if he's able to get something happening. So we'll get a word with the man in that number 8 machine. How about it? Seth Well going to be position number 4 so far. How's it feeling up in front?
Okay, I guess.
Right now, back-to-back yellows it appears. So what's it going to take to make stuff happen from here on out?
Getting track position, honestly. It's really hard to pass until we get to about as you saw that last run, once we get to about like 40 laps into the run, we can really start passing. You can see who the comers and goers are. But these first like 25 laps is just track position central. Trying not to give up your right rear. What it's all about.
And tires and track position have been key factors in tonight's showing so far. 58 laps in out of 175, still an awful lot of time to make something happen. So they're going to be all about being conservative so far and waiting till the end?
It's going to be one of those weird ones, because with the stage especially coming up here, I'm sure you're going to see everybody trying to get those stage points, knowing that there's going to be a yellow. So it's going to be interesting whether or not everybody pits or just sits tidy, similar to what happened at Auto Club. There's a couple people that sat at the back, super saved their tires, and then stayed out to get track position. So it's going to be interesting right here, and then how it develops caution-wise to the end of the race is going to be a key point to look at.
And certainly as we have strategies divulging, of course, here and now, 1 lap to green this time by, so any final thoughts?
Hopefully I don't die.
And there we have it, Seth.
Like
going to be fourth on the board here. Not dying, it looks like that's the name of the game. Still a clean car out in front. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Drag him right back in there. Seth Llewellyn going to be on his way as we are 1 the green once again. And stage break going to be on its way very soon. Lap 70 going to be the distance that we have to climb to get to that one and only stage break. And then from there on out, he should be able to go green. We'll see how many drivers are going to be able to make it till then. A race of attrition so far, and a few drivers have gotten caught up in a bit too many incidents, and it looks like one of which going to be Mike Maddox and, of course, Boomer Logan as well. No other retirees, 28 drivers still in the field. Stephen Wetton going to be there, and he's going to try to keep himself moving. 4 laps down. Sam Nito 2 laps down, and currently Luis Caballero only 1 down. So Sam Nito going to be taking a lot of repair, if not a penalty there. We'll see what the admins decide as Caballero gets himself situated with the field. This will be our 3rd restart of the night if we make it past the start-finish line, and we're just going to say that it is your 3rd restart as we never got us past the start-finish the last time through. Let's go to this time by restart number 3, and we'll be able to get by the start-finish time, this time by the Pierce. So we're back racing. And a much better start there for the driver of the number 4 machine, Nick Tarabush, but Ethan Lane now going to have a bit of pressure that he's putting on the number 4 machine. Goes up to the high side, and immediately the battle is brewing once again. Lane going to be able to utilize that high side quite nicely, and now they come to the stripe. Double file. The number 26 holds on and looks like he will be able to take the lead with Brad Patton now in 3rd. It's still going to be side by side here, and Tarabush not trying to let go of that lead as they come double file once more. And you can see that Nick is trying his hardest to keep himself in leading battle, but Ethan Lane just going to be able to take it like it is nothing. And 61 laps in out of 75. Lane is looking for those bonus points. Alan Dobbs is not going to be there, but it's going to be Brad Patton with a great save. Going to be able to keep us going under green, as it's going to be Jacob Fife getting right there with Alan Dobbs, as a matter of fact. And Dobbs now going to be riding the wall, trying to do the same thing that Ethan Lane's doing. And he does it to some similar success there. Going to be able to make it past not 1 but 2 drivers at once. So a great move there for Alan Dobbs to put himself into 7th there. And pressure mounted for Jacob Fife, as Alan Dobbs is able to utilize it to advantage. Chris Schetzer going to be right there with Nicholas Ward. Schetzer having an up and down night so far, but right now he's going to be on the up and up. 63 in at 175. He's currently in his highest position all race long. And that's going to be 6th. Nicholas Ward going to hit the wall big time there. Now we're going to go down and around once again. Caution going to be out. The entire of the field going to be able to avoid him. But Nicholas Ward going to bring out yet another yellow here before the first stage is over. Let's find out just what happened. Ward looked to get squirrely in the battle here with Chris Schetzler, and we'll take a second to reflect on what happened. Looks like he just gets a bit squirrely there and goes out around, gets into Schetzler, and the entire of the field's able to avoid him, and the yellow flag comes out as a result. Certainly a safety yellow to make sure that no other driver gets involved in the incident. Rightfully so, as that could have been damage there for Matt Jonas if he stayed on that path, able to crawl himself back up higher or scroll up the track. And it looks like everyone is going to be fine besides the 97. Nicholas Ward still going to be on his way here. 64 laps in out of 175 is Ethan Lane. Still going to be position number 1 on the charts. Tarabush going to be in 2nd, and Seth Well going to be in 3rd, as Joe Yates now going to be right there, right behind the man at that number 88 machine, as we will go back to the green flag racing in just a few laps time. Caution flag going to come out at lap number 70, and if we're under yellow lap 70, that's going to be stage break as well. And right now, Ethan Lane in good hands to get it done. We should be going green at about lap 67, lap 68. That's going to be when the green checkered flag waves for the first stage of the night. And then we go for the overall finish. As right now, Lane is going to be holding on to position number 1, climbing his way through the field all night. It's going to be Caballero running on the high side. Down Thunder Alley, he's going to be able to go up top. Himself in contention is now Luis going to be only a total of, well, 16 seconds off the next man on the lead lap in Nicholas Ward, so he's on the lead lap now, and that gives us 26 men on that lead lap. Sam Nito down and out for the night's event. Stephen Witten's still going to be on pit road, it appears. Cam is going to be on the track, but 4 down, he'll need a few cautions to keep himself in the game. The number 58 machine, first race of the season, and looking to get himself back up in the contention. We saw him closer to the front than before. Well, see what he can do from later on out. Later, not now, as it's going to be Ethan Lane leading the now with 2 laps to green. 66 of 175. Caution. Stage break will come out at lap number 70 because of the conclusion, and Ethan Lane in good chances, of course, to get that one done. Nick Terabutch going to be there as well. Seth Noel going to be third, and Joe Yakes is in fourth. So how do we dial up the man at number 87 machine and see what's going on there, as Joe Yakes going to be right behind the podium positions thus far here in Rockingham. Let's get a word for the man in that number 87, and Joe Yakes, if he's available, and that it appears he is not. So Joe Yakes not going to be available for comment just yet. The 87 machine still in fourth, running a nice and smooth race. 66 laps in out of 175. Ethan Lane holds on the top spot of the board, and it looks like Guillermo Alvarez, the original dominator of this event, your pole sitter. He was almost there, but he's going to line up at the front row nonetheless. Well, now he's down into 11th, as your pole sitter is still going to be up there in the top 2. Alvarez is falling back into now past the top 10, and he's still close to guys like Stan Carnison and Trevor Trago trying to make it happen to get back up there. Time is of the essence here as we get back to it. The 83 machine going to have to pick one line, and he chooses the inside here at 67 out of 175. Here we go again, lap 68, the time to do it, as we will have our final run until the stage break. Ethan Lane, top of the board so far. Nick Terabutch going to be there in second, and Seth Well going to be in position number 3. And Joe Yakes in fourth, that number 87 machine with some damage on the right side, still able to hold on here. So that's going to be impressive indeed, as Joe Yakes will try to get a closer evaluation on that using one of our closer drone cameras. You could see with that evaluation that Joe Yakes does indeed have some damage on the right side. As a matter of fact, that shows that nothing's on the left, but the right side does indeed have a bit of a crease there right by the front bumper. And as we get it going once again, Ethan Lane going to lead us through for restart number 4 on the night, and the 26 holds on with the number 4. Here we go again. The 26, the 4, and the 88 has Seth Noel. The top 3 so far. Restart number 4 here on the night. Let's go racing once again. And Ethan Lane gets a nice jump over the drivers of Seth Noel and Nick Terabutch there. And Terabutch going to be into third position. Alan Dobbs get right there with Joe Yakes side by side. The distance is going to be less than a tenth of a second, now just about a few hundredths, as now Joe Yakes has that edge, trying to make it so on Alan Dobbs. Brad Patney side by side with now as Ethan Lane. Lap 69 has had a nice run so far to climb up to the top of the board, and just has to make it 2 more laps into the green, and checkered flag falls for stage number 1. And the bonus points will come in his way handedly. Just keeps it up from here on out. Noel going to be right there with Terabutch, single file. The battles in the back half of the top 10 are prominent. Stan Carnathan going to be in 10th right now. Don Stevenson and Trevor Trago fighting to get into the last spot with bonus points, as Ethan Lane leads them into lap 70. Trago going to wash up the track. A lot of drivers going to wash way high. Rowell going to be there with Don Stevenson, and of course the Trevor Trago machine in the mix, and Ethan Lane going to be able to lead them down this time by, and the green and checkered flag going to be out for the first stage of the night. And lap 70 it is indeed the distance, and here we go. Ethan Lane wins the first stage of the night here in Rockingham. The caution is out, and that is stage number 1, and Ethan Lane comes home its winner. Lane going to be top of the board on an 18-lap hold stint, 71 laps in out of 175. And it looks like he goes to his winning ways once again. And he's been able to climb up throughout the field no matter what he's had in store. The man of that top seat, it's going to be Ethan Lane as we keep things rolling nice and smooth. Let's get a word with the man in that number 26 machine and see what is up with Ethan Lane. Currently stage winner, of course, the one and only stage. And Ethan Lane, how you feeling?
Oh, we're feeling great. I'm sorry, I was talking in the other channel. No, we're feeling good. Racetrack's really fun tonight. We got a lot of multiple grooves. You can kind of run anywhere, kind of do what you want.
And it looks like, yeah, running everywhere. We've seen you all the way up high, making a lot of positions back, and nice and smooth placement on the car so far. So running for the mid-pack and qualifying to get up here, how has it been moving through the field?
It was sketch at first. Kind of just taking it easy the first 10 laps and let everyone get in, like, single filed out or just settled in, and then we started kind of picking everything off. But after that, it's been fairly fun. Everyone's been kind of giving everyone room, racing everyone fairly hard, and it's just been fun.
And it should be fun indeed. Now 73 laps in, we should go green at about lap 75. So it should be, at the very most, that's mathematically possible, 101 laps of green flag action to spare. So what do you think we'll get here? Long green flag run, is it still in the cards, or will it still be continuously a race of attrition?
Hopefully it goes green. I feel now that we have clean air, we should be able to, like, stay out front. I feel ever since after the update, aero push has kind of been a little bit more effective with how you place your car behind others. So hopefully it goes green, hopefully it can stay out front, and hopefully we can sweep Rockingham from both series.
And looking to sweep Rockingham and sweep the week, Ethan Lane gonna win your first stage of the night. Any final thoughts?
Just hoping it goes green.
And there we have it. Hoping it goes green. Ethan Lane has the pace to prove it. Stage 1 winner of the night. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Drag him right back in. Ethan Lane going to be on his way as we move him right in to the racing voice chat. Now, these guys are all going to be able to put themselves in a line of communication with one another. Ethan Lane going to be one of which 74 laps in out of 175. It looks like we will have 100 laps to go here when we get back at it, and Ethan Lane holds on strong. How about Seth Welno in the second spot so far for Domination Intimidation Racing, their only representative of the night, and he's been doing a great job without his team. Domination Intimidation Racing is the biggest team in the Ignite series, but right now, without the entirety of that team besides him, well, he's been able to, well, how should I put it, carry the torch, pass the flag on. He's been able to do everything and then some. He's currently second to what could be the fastest man in this series. Ethan Lane proving himself with the next gens, as well as we are going to go double file this time through. And Lane going to be able to choose that high side. And there he goes. Lane going to be right there with Seth Well. Nick Terabich going to be with Brad Patton and Guillermo Alvarez right there. Position number 5. So let's get at it this time by. Choose rule is in effect, and this time your leader chooses to go up high. Now, we talked about this last night. It became an issue with the drivers up front, including Justin Rowden and Anthony DeBarro. But the restart zone is in effect sometimes on iRacing. That could catch these guys out. So you have to be very patient when you get started. And with a swapped out row like this, iRacing not the best at handling it sometimes. Seth Newell going to have to be very delicate with how he gets a start on Ethan Lane. He doesn't want to be. It's a competitive race, that's for certain, but iRacing might have a limitation there that would put him at a slight disadvantage. And here we go indeed. The driver, the number 88 machine, going to be able to hold on. Then it will be Ethan Lane, who was able to win your first stage, position number 1. If you're tuning in for the first time tonight, I've been the host, producing, and commentating, David Croyce, and I hope you enjoy the presentation I've been able to bring to you. Round 3 from Rockingham. This is the Integrity Octane Series. If you want to chat and leave some love for your favorite driver, be sure to subscribe to the channel for at least a minute, and you'll have unlimited access to chat whenever you want and wherever we go racing. Let's get back out of this time by. Lane Gator right there with Seth Well, and Brad Patton's going to be in third. Let's go at it once again. Green flag's going to be out, led by Ethan Lane. Stage 2 underway. And Alan Dobbs not in the mix, but Ethan Lane there on the matte black number 26 is in a perfect position as he takes the field by storm. Seth Noel gets it there as Brad Patton goes in with Nick Terabich. Double file the 1 and the 4R for a moment, and it looks like Brad Patton able to hold on. Terabich has that inside line. He has that advantage when it comes to the distance, but the momentum holds him on nice and smooth. Alan Rowell going to be right there in the 5th spot with Guillermo Alvarez, and everyone's going to be able to take themselves into a nice battle. You can see that Cody Smith right there with the AT machine for Next Level Racing, taking it to the next level himself, and he's going to be able to slide into position number 7. Schessler 8th, Ross Cato going to be 9th, and Alan Dobbs is rounding out the field in that top 10 with Stan Carnathan in position number 11. Jacob Fife going to be in 12th, and Bobby Ross going to be in 13th. And the top 13 right now, holding on strong within about 3 seconds of the leader. Now it's going to be Cody Smith diving to the inside line there. He's going to be able to recuperate it and keep those positions with Rowell and Schessler putting on the pressure. And you can see it. Here's the rear view shot from the driver of the number 18 machine. This is from the perspective of the Daytona winner, Cody Smith. And Chris Schessler goes out of the inside, that time by the Yoo-Hoo number 24 machine. And he's going to make his entrance right here, right now in the battle. Smith able to keep himself there with 79 laps in the books and 97 laps to go. You can see that Smith just has to keep himself on that high side, and he will be able to do that and pull away successfully. The number 18 machine making himself known as he's going to go up high once again, and Chris Schessler tries to hold on in 7th. Ross Cato going to be there in 8th as well, and I tell you what, this man of that number 12 machine has been putting on an impressive run, rounding outside of the top 10, but now up there. Looks like strategy playing in his favor with 96 remaining, and Ethan Lane mentioned clean air right now. We could be in the cards to get our longest green flag run yet. And it looks like the number 12 machine going to be one of those guys that will benefit from it, as Alan Dobbs and Jacob Fife going to go side by side. And Jacob Fife going to be able to benefit there with Alan Dobbs. Dobbs holds on, and it looks like he's going to be able to keep that position for now, but Jacob Fife is hot on his heels. And don't count out Bobby Ross, as Ross going to be able to go to the high side there as Jacob Fife keeps himself in the mix. Nice and smooth, slow and steady. He might not win the race, but consistency rather than complacency going to be able to keep you there, as it's still going to be a side-by-side battle to round out this top 10. Alan Dobbs going to be in 10th, and Jacob Fife going to be in 9th, as it's still going to be the driver of that number 44, Bobby Ross, holding on right outside of which. And now double file, almost 3 wide there with Farrell Ryan, and Ryan having a great recovery from all the incidents he's been involved in. Now fighting strong with the driver of that number 36 and Alan Dobbs in the mix as well. 93 laps to go here in the Rock, and it's going to be Christopher Schessler holding on nice and smooth right behind Cody Smith. As we check on the closest battle on the circuit right now, it appears to be the battle for the lead. Brad Patton is closing in on Ethan Lane, and you're going to watch on board with the driver of that number 1 machine. This is the hood camera, and you can see Alan Dobbs has been able to copy every movement from Ethan Lane, and it's been very precise, and Ethan Lane going to get a bit squirrely there, and that's what we talk about. If you're not able to control the car when you touch that paint, well, you're going to be in a load of trouble. With the benefits, it might outweigh the negatives, and right now Ethan Lane, who believes that, is going to be able to hold on to the lead, but Brad Patton coming up on him closer and closer, time after time, and they back into each other almost there as Ethan Lane hits the brakes just a bit earlier. Not going to be all too much to unsettle Brad Patton, but he's absolutely there for a reason now, and Ethan Lane gets a bit shaky time after time as he looks to the rear view camera for the number 26 machine. This is Ethan Lane's perspective in the battle, or shall we say his rear view mirrors. You can see Brad Patton all over him there, and the spoiler transparent to make sure the drivers have extra visibility. Brad Patton in the transparent spoiler range, and that's one way to put it. You're right there on the back bumper. You are going to push and shove for every opportunity you can get. And Patton, knowing this, will have to keep himself, because Ethan Lane, stage 1 winner, has been one of the fastest men all night long. An opportunity to hang with him is an opportunity to hang with a shot for the victory, as Ethan Lane still going to be far out in front over the remainder of the pack here. Brad Patton going to be able to hold on in 2nd, and then it will be finally Nick Terabich in 3rd, Guillermo Alvarez in 4th, and Cody Smith going to be in position number 5, as Jacob Fife now going to be fighting side by side with Chris Schessler. Schessler going to be in the mix now. They are all holding on nice and smooth, but right now it looks like Jacob Fife going to lose just a bit of time. The Schessler battle, and the 24 going to come out advantageous, but now Jacob Fife going to be able to put a crossover move, momentum in the favor of the 36, and now the 12 gets in the battle with the 24. 4. Now it is going to be 36, 24, and 12 running. Position number 7, 8, 9 on the circuit. 88 laps to go. Lap 88, we are on. Cross flag's going to wave this time through, and it's going to be Brad Patton not in the mix, and it looks like he's going to currently be in second as Ethan Lane takes the stripe with Brad Patton following. Nice and smooth. Ethan Lane going to be able to take us to the halfway point, and here we go, running at the clock from this moment onward. It's going to be all about the consistency, all about keeping yourself in check. Nick Terabut's going to be in third as he goes out of the inside line, and he's starting to set up the move on Brad Patton. And we say set up the move just a bit lightly, and we're saying it with a grain of salt, shall we say. When you go down to the inside line, you're sort of signaling to the driver in front of you, hey, I want to go for this move, and I'm going to take it no matter what I've got, or rather what you've got. Now Nick Terabut showing side by side he wants to go, and right now he's making those moves to the inside, trying to test out that clean air, trying to see what's going to be faster with it. Brad moves going to be, if he gets faster than what Brad has in his back pocket, well, it's going to be Terabut's position for the taking, as they're both losing time to Ethan Lane, not substantially, but however still enough to keep themselves out of the lead battle. Terabut currently is going to be about a tenth off. Going to be Brad Patton about a full tenth off right now. So Terabut, second fastest man on the track. Ethan Lane, absolutely the fastest, 2/10 off his best lap in this race. 85 laps to go, and Ethan Lane holds on with Brad Patton in second, Nick Terabut in third, and Guillermo Alvarez, who was on the front row in tonight's event, chasing your pole sitter. The guys who started first and second are currently third and fourth respectively. Now it's going to be all about running out the clock. Top 5 guys within a straightaway here. The remainder of the back going to be pretty far out. Only a few guys going to be off the circuit. It looks like the 84 machine going to be off the track according to our timing and scoring. That's Jorge Canales on pit road for a moment. No, he is not. And on his way, the 84 machine is. Kevin Mack, 21st here. Randy Fiash in 22nd. As Nicholas Ward going to come in as we speak about pit road. It looks like one man going to be coming in this time by Ward, and that number 97 machine going to be the first of which we'll see if it's strategy. We'll see if it is related to an incident. Going to come in, not a lot of damage on that car as Ethan Lane going to pass by. That's your race leader still going at it, and he's going to be able to make his way into lap number 94 with Brad Patton still on the hunt. And still single file, these guys up in front are Ethan Lane, certainly gapping the remainder of the field, but it's not a substantial gap just yet, as it's going to be Guillermo Alvarez taking himself down to the inside line for a moment, trying to get a bit of a swoop going in there. Shades of the Indianapolis machineries at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Those Indy cars, they take away a lot of draft by cutting to the inside of the track during the back straightaway, but right now Alvarez doesn't have to worry at all too much about cutting draft, as it could be Brad Patton with that worry. Side by side, look at them go. They're going to be double file, putting a lot of air on one another, side drafting down Thunder Alley in the Rockingham Motor Speedway here. Going to see that Rockingham has a new battle for second. Terabut, Patton, that time by Terabut has the edge, but Brad Patton going to be able to battle back at the line. He's going to be able to clear him for a second for just a moment, and that's going to be a moment that he's going to want to live himself in for quite a while. Keep himself in the moment. Now it's going to be all about the future, as Nick Terabut's going to be double file with him still. 80 laps to go, and it's going to be down to the inside line. Terabut holding on strong. Guillermo Alvarez going to be right behind this battle. Brad Patton will take a look on board with him. You might be able to see the quarter panel there. Nick Terabut, that you do. Terabut's going to be cleared that time by riding on board with the number 1 machine. It looks like Brad Patton able to fend off the number 4, but only for now. Coming off of the back straightaway this time by, they're going to go into thirds, 3 and 4 with a big edge to Brad Patton. Momentum, he's about 2.5 miles an hour quicker throughout every segment of the back straightaway besides, of course, the start. The momentum just continues to pick himself up time after time. Double fire is going to be that time by Terabut, not going to be able to keep himself clear. Now he's going to back off and let Brad Patton send it all the way high, and you can see it's going to be a big advantage for Terabut for just a moment, but Brad Patton keeps it nice and steady. The battle heating up as we've just gotten past the halfway mark. The man of that number 1 machine trying to get himself into position number 1, but he's going to have to battle for a second to get up there in the first place. Side by side they were, and now Brad Patton with the edge, with now a total of 77 laps remaining. Cody Smith going to be right behind the battle. It's going to be Guillermo Alvarez in touching distance as Jacob Fife in now 6th. Continues to gain in slowly but surely on Cody, as Seth Well going to be there in the 7th spot, and Farrell Ryan going to be in the mix. That number 93 machine going to be right in front of the battle between Chris Schessler and Ross Cato, and Ross Cato catering to his car so far, as the 12 machine going to go right there on the inside line of the 24 and make it double file once again. And this battle, it is continuing to brew. Lap 100 out of 175. We are into the triple digits in terms of the laps, and we are winding this one down evidently, as it's going to be double file the distance for a moment, as Alan Dobbs now going to fight with Ross Cato. Chris Chesler on the high side able to make that pass happen. Will it be 2 for 2 in 2 laps? We'll see. Alan Dobbs has the momentum this time by, and it looks like he'll be able to make that so. And this momentum has been able to make itself especially clear as the clean air has become more prominent. Drivers spreading themselves out, allow each other to have a bit more room when it comes to aerodynamics of their car. It's not going to be all dependent about the driver in front of you. Of course, that will mean a large amount of the equation, but going to be a bit lesser than it was beforehand. And Alan Dobbs is going to be able to use that to his advantage and follow the cut-through hole in the air that Chris Chesler left him. And we'll see whether or not Ross Cato is going to be able to do the exact same thing back right now. No, not going to be able to. And regeneration of that momentum is going to take a long while. Ethan Lane has not had to worry about such a thing. He's about 3.5 seconds, now 2.5 seconds in front of Brad Patton. Is Patton able to claw into it just a bit, but still a wide margin as Nick Tarabuch going to hold on right behind the man in second, and Patton with Tarabuch second and third as Guillermo Alvarez holds on in that fourth position. 73 laps to go. These guys just outside the lead battle and just outside the podium are still in touching distance of one another, but Ethan Lane continues to make his own lane and run away from the field here in Rockingham. Nick Tarabuch, Brad Patton side by side. They're not just yet, but Tarabuch going to dive to the inside once again. High line's going to be for Brad Patton, and Patton keeps it steady as now it's going to be Brad Patton in a whole lot of trouble. Nick Tarabuch going to be there in the third position. Now it's going to be side by side. Guillermo Alvarez still right there, and look at him go. Let's ride on board with the man at number 4 machine and check out what it's like inside the number 4 car. This is within the cockpit of Nick Tarabuch. And getting this perspective like you're a passenger with the number 4 machine, you could tell he's wrestling this car. Bumps are taking these guys for a wild ride, and Tarabuch alike with Brad Patton, they're both able to hold on to it substantially better than most of the field. And right now, Guillermo Alvarez is not catching up to them. It's going to be all about patience here as one driver going to come into pit road. That time by, it appears to be Guy Petra in the number 8 Shelby machine, as Tarabuch going to get a bit of the wall that time by, as Ethan Lane now looks to be gaining into some lap machines, and that he is could be Guillermo Alvarez right in front of him. That time through, it looks like it will be. The 91 machine might be the next man up for the 26 to pass, as it is going to be this time by Luis Caballero. As a matter of fact, the 91 is Caballero, and Alvarez not in the mix. As side by side, they're going to be a big send there by Ethan Lane, but I think that's going to be a bit of a dramatized tale of events. It's going to be the 91 machine that slows down an awful lot. 69 laps to go. A very, very nice run put on so far by Ethan Lane as he continues to put on a dominating display. Winning at Las Vegas, the jackpot could come back and double itself as the 26 machine holds on in front of a packed house here in Rockingham. 68 now laps remain as Brad Patton's getting right there with Nick Tarabuch, and Tarabuch has been on his tail all race long, at least all run long. This second stage has been these two's battle, and they have stolen the show the entirety of the way. No closer battle so far besides Alan Dobbs and Chris Chesler now, as Dobbs and Shetler have not settled 9th position. And Chris Chesler going to be up on that high side. Alan Dobbs going to be right there with him. And that time by, Dobbs gets the edge. Ross Cato still in this pack. And it's going to be all about the side-by-side movement, riding on board with a nose camera from Ross Cato. You can see how close these guys are to him. And you can see a big run there on Chris Chesler. Is going to be able to clear both of them. A big move. And now Ross Cato gets himself up into the 9th spot. He gets 2 spots in one run. How about that, Ross Cato? Let's set it back 15 seconds and see just why that happened. Looks like Alan Dobbs gets himself on the paint and squirrels himself right back up the track. Is going to be able to save it nicely, but Chesler gets into him. You're going to tag each other, and look at that maneuver. Ross Cato makes it through nice and smooth. He's now going to be in 9th with a battle from Alan Dobbs already. The charge is on, and Dobbs goes down to the inside line on the man who got 2 spots in on 1 lap. Great work from Ross Cato. Now it's going to be all about sustaining that impressive maneuver, and that's one you don't see all too much of. The track is narrow as the Rock Auto Club. Daytona, a lot more room and a lot more mileage, but here at the Rockingham Motor Speedway, well, it'll be a bit harder. See that Ross Cato holds on. Cody Smith there with Farrell Ryan And I tell you what, 111 laps in, Ryan is to be able to recover from incidents like it is nothing. A bounce-back night for him, involved in 2 cautions, got banged up just a bit, but he's still in the 8th spot on pace. Now, that is an important thing to mention. When it comes down to pace, he's just about quicker than your leader of Ethan Lane. Now, not by much that time by, as now Nick Terabos looks to be the fastest man on the track, but it's still going to be all about the number 24 machine and the number 26 Chess are going to be battling hard, but Ethan Lane, that time by, back to his normal ways at 24.9, but Nick Terabos going to shave it down to a 24.7, so it's going to be 2 laps in a row. The number 4 machine shaves down 0.2 of a second on your leader. We'll try to see what's going on here because Ethan Lane might just be losing time and he has no lap machine right around him. So it could be a bit of a rebound that going to be Nick Terabos getting that rebound to say the least, but a lap car going to get in his way. And now Terabos going to have a bit of a slower lap by about 0.1 of a second. Terabos that time through a 0.791. Still going to be faster than Ethan Lane, so I'm not sure where that loss in pace is going to go. There it's going to go in the wall. 62 laps to go, and Nick Terabos finds himself in the wall in the back straightaway. Not going to be a big hit. He's still going, but it's going to be Nicholas Ward who gets right by him. And now that 4 machine in a bit more trouble. And 4 scores is going to be, we've seen them hit the wall about 4 times, so it's going to be a few marks there. And now it's going to be Nick Terabos having to play it a bit more cautious. He's on the hunt and now loses about 0.2 of a second and back to square one. 61 laps to go. He's going to be able to keep himself in the mix. Guillermo Alvarez fighting with the number 88 machine is set well here. This is the battle for position number 4. Let's ride on board with the rear end of that number 88 machine. And with 60 laps to do it, Seth Noel going to be able to extend his advantage there on Guillermo Alvarez, but it does look like that car could be beat up just a bit. We're going to closer look at the car with a bit of a close drone shot there, and that it is not the paint scheme deceiving us, as it's going to be a bumpy ride indeed for Seth Noel to keep himself going as they barrel down once again to the start-finish line. Guillermo Alvarez now down into 5th. Has been a great recovery game for Jacob Fife. Now he's in 6th here, able to get himself through a lot of the big wrecks on the night and keep himself in touching distance of the leaders, and he might be able to make a charge for it as the night goes on. Right behind Guillermo Alvarez now, a half a second separates the 2. Farrell Ryan going to be in 8th position. Alan Dobbs is in 9th as Ross Cato is no longer battling with Chris Schetzler. And Schetzler has a new driver on his heels. That's going to be Caitlin Haight. Haight, last week's winner at Auto Club, and it was down to the inside line on that 24. And Chris Schetzler going to have to concede that time through. Caitlin Haight going to be able to make that move. And the BMW goes places that this Chevy has not gone just yet. Down to the inside for position number 11. The number 11 machine going to be able to make it so for now. And Don Stevens is going to make it 2 for 1 if he has his way. That time by he won't, but evidently the number 24 machine going to have a new battler, and that's going to be the 47. Stevenson holding on nice and smooth. The pack is getting close. Joe Yates is going to be right there, right outside. Joe Yates is going to get into the wall, as a matter of fact, and let Stan Carnathan through for 14th. Now Carnathan going to be the next man to compete here is Don Stevenson. Hold on nice and smooth. If you enjoy the action, make sure to leave a like on this channel, of course this stream, and leave a subscription to the channel. It's always greatly appreciated. It helps support these great drivers and their associates, the Integrity Racing League, doing it right. As you can see, a great battle here. Side by side, the distance is going to be about less than a half a 10th of a second, as it's going to be now a 10th or so, as it's going to be side by side MD. Don Stevenson holds on with Chris Schetzler here, and Stan Carnathan in that number 82 right behind him. Joe Yates going to also be able to hold on in that 15th spot, and Joe Yates still has that damage that we saw from the last time he smacked the wall. And with 55 to go, a long green flag run looks to be what is in the cards. For the first time tonight, we should be able to run out from here under green, and it has been the longest run in all night. Down Thunder Alley, and it's going to be Joe Yates holding on with Stan Carnathan. Chris Schetzler, 13th, and now drivers continue to get themselves in a more single file order, but Farrell Ryan now has competition. Ross Cato going to make himself known back in 9th as he gets by Farrell Ryan that time by, and Ryan looks to be bearing out his tires, as it looks like while Ross Cato is a 65 lap old set, Farrell Ryan's 56 lap old set is going to fall prey to the driver of the number 11 machine. Caitlin Haight now going to be in 10th, as her tire is going to be a bit newer than Ross Cato's and Alan Dobbs. And it looks like, as a matter of fact, the driver with the newest tires in the top 10, well, it's going to be Caitlin Haight and Alan Dobbs now dead heat with 50 laps on the set. 53 to go. tire wear is becoming substantial. A 25-1 at Ethan Lane going to come in this time by with Nick Terabut's green flag pit stops on their way. The leaders lead us in, and here we go again. Ethan Lane comes right in, and now your top 2 drivers on the way. Brad Patton now going to be position number 1 for the first time as he fights hard with Seth Well here, and they will come into pit road anytime now. We'll see if it's this time by. They're going to consolidate their line, go up to the high side together. This could be it. A big dive by Seth Well, but it might be no use, or is it? It looks like for now it won't be. They don't go down pit road, but drivers now going to begin to consider it. Top 2 drivers come in at the same time in unison, as now drivers begin to come in as well. Farrell, Ryan on the way. Of course, Nick Terabutch and Ethan Lane going to have to get on, as Lane now going to be 1 lap down, getting himself off of pit road. Going to try to beat out Nick Terabutch, and that will do by a handily margin. He's going to be able to get about a 2-second advantage over the remainder of the field if he cycles out in the lead. Ross Cato not going to be coming in this time by, but Brad Patton is your leader so far. And Lane going to be there with Nick Terabutch and Farrell Ryan. Ryan going to be the only driver actively on pit road, as Jorge Canales going to be right there with a few drivers on the lead lap and a few drivers who might be 1 down. So drivers are beginning to mesh when it comes to their lap status, as Brad Patton fights side by side with Seth Well. Now, this is not just a battle for the lead for now with 50 laps to go, becoming less than that. It's also a battle to see who gets into pit road first. The longer you can stretch this run, the more time you'll have on the next set of tires, and perhaps it'll be better at the tail end of the race. We already saw a few yellows to start this race off, but this second stage has been nothing but clean, green racing, and these racing machines able to take it on as they still try to fight for dominance on pit road. This time by, Brad Patton not going to come in, and Seth Well going to have to think of something else, as Jacob Fife still not going to budge just yet. Now Ross Cato going to come in on his own this time by. Brad Patton still going to come off the stripe that time through and put him what looks to be 1 down that time. And you can see that Brad Patton now coming up to a gaggle of lap cars. Very few drivers have come in, and Ross Cato going to come in after about a 70 lap stint. Brad Patton and Seth Well on a 75 lap hold stint. So these drivers are running on tires that have been through more than half the race in terms of the current distance, and 47 laps to do it. It's going to be almost contact there with Brad Patton and the lap machine of Kevin Matz, as these top 2 drivers have to think of when they come into pit road. It could be here, it could be now. Alan Rabo comes to pit road this time by. He's currently in the 12th position. Bobby Ross not in just yet. Ross Cato is in, and Luis Caballero going to come in this time through. The 91 going to get on his way very, very soon. No dice just yet, and the driver's going to try to run out until at least 80 laps, it appears, and we will see if that is truly the case. Brad Patton now going to be side by side with the lap machine is Seth Well, now going to be far out of that battle for now, and they should be able to make it into pit road easily from here, and it could be this time by, and that it is not. No choice to come into pit road that time, boo. But now it's going to be a big slide for Brad Patton, as Seth Well going to be able to take the lead. And now it's going to be side-by-side benefit to the 88, and the edge goes to the man in that National Guard machine, and he's been able to guard his tires quite nicely and keep himself up in front. Jacob Fife going to be scored in the 3rd spot as Joe Yates come down on pit road. Drivers seem to be coming in on their own accord right now. 45 laps to go. No set strategy, it appears, to come into pit road, as still Seth Well now has a major advantage over Brad Patton. And Patton now looks to be laying back to try to get a bit more of an advantage. Now, this could be a fuel gamble more than it is a tire gamble. The longer you stay on the track, the later you come in to pit road, the less fuel you have to put in. So the less gallons these guys have to put into the tank, the quicker they can get off pit road, and the more of an advantage they get when they get back on the track. If we stay green, at the very least, as Trevor Trago comes in that time by, and Brad Patton going to come in as well. Patton going to come in this time through after what looks to be 80 lap stint indeed. Brad Patton coming in, and it'll be Seth Well inheriting the lead. And that number 88 machine, well, he had it beforehand, and Brad Patton going to come in first. We'll see when Seth Well comes in this time by. It could be, and we'll see if it should be. The choice for the number 88 machine, well, it is not. Brad Patton going to be now in that 10th spot. He's going to be lapped this time through Jay Haitian. We're going to be right there. Now he's going to be right there with Chris Schessler. Stan Carnathan in the 8th spot, not coming into pit road this time by Don Stevenson. At number 47, still there in 7th, as Caitlin Hay goes up to the high side on Caballero. Cody Smith in the Next Level Racing machine has not gone in just yet, and that leaves us with only a total of about 12 drivers not in. When it comes down to the tire strategy, it looks like that will be it. Randy Fias, the last of which, on a 59-lap old stint. Seth Well has spent 82 laps on his run, and with 41 to go, this is not it. Jacob Fife now going to be in second here after 62. So he could go up to 20 laps longer on tires alone, but that he chooses not to do, getting heckled around by these guys with new sets. And I do believe with Ethan Lane now within striking distance of your current leader in Sethwell, it's going to be all but game over for any other driver. Jacob Fife going to have himself unlapped with Ethan Lane getting right by him. Caitlin Hay going to come into pit road this time by, and Ethan Lane now going to be top of the board with the drivers with new tires. The Goodyear rubber for him has been able to play a great factor into his success. It played a great factor at Las Vegas, and here it has as well. The Rock, North Carolina, the cathedrals of speed, and right now he has been worshiping its gospel. Ethan Lane going to be out in front as these guys continue to cycle out. Sethwell holds on strong. Jacob Fife going to be there in second. Alan Dobbs is in third. And Guillermo Alvarez P4. And looks like still drivers wait to go on a pit road. Jay Haishman, last of which on the lead lap. Stan Carterton now going to be in seventh, as it's going to be a bit of a sway there with the driver of the number 8 machine right in front of Guy Pietra. And Stan Carterton goes a bit higher that time by. Will it be the decision to come in for Guillermo Alvarez? Yes, it is. For Stan Carterton, no, it is not. And it's going to be 38 laps remaining. Sethwell has ran a total of now 85 laps, and he's going to get his lap unlapped there. Ethan Lane is back on the move on that lead lap, and Sethwell, game over unless this strategy plays out perfect here. He's going to have to run even longer for that to be the case, and the risk is going to become that much more, but eventually Ethan Lane's tires will bottom out. That could be the end goal for Sethwell here, as Guillermo Alvarez still going to be on pit road. Jacob Fife is right there with Alan Dobbs. Dobbs is going to be in the same tire set as Fife, but Jacob has worn them out just a bit more. A 3.48 for Jacob Fife last time by, and a 25.106 for Alan Dobbs. So evidently, the 05 machine has something going on here that the man in that 36 simply cannot replicate. Jacob Fife, not his lucky day, but still out in front with a great result so far. If he's able to pull it home here, it looks like the way his strategy has gone, he should be able to come home for a nice and smooth top 5, if not a top 10, as Jacob Fife still has pressure for second. Cody Smith going to be side by side with Don Stevenson, and Stan Carnathan in that number 82 machine still is in 6th here, as it's going to be Ethan Lane currently 8th on the board, and he's going to be the fastest man and the man at the top of the standings with new tires. He's been on his run for now 16 laps, and time is flying, and for Ethan Lane, he might just be having fun along the way. Seth Wells is going to be leading with 88 laps on his set for the number 88 machine, and time, he is not going to call it. He's still going to stay on that set, and we'll take a lap on board with the 88 machine to see how troublesome it is to drive with what he's got going on. And as you can see, driving it much more cautiously than it was beforehand, getting it down to 6,700 revs a minute, and only able to get it up to about 81, 82, 8,300 to get a peak out at 84, with not much power being put in compared to what he had beforehand. So Seth Well is in danger. The 88 machine, now 90 laps into his run, is doing the unthinkable here. Not sure how much longer he's going to be able to last. It's unbelievable. But nonetheless, he's still just about as fast as Jacob Fife, and Jacob Fife has a 20-lap younger set. Bobby Ross going to split 2 drivers 3 and make his way right through an aggressive move, but nonetheless going to be able to make it calculated, as Alan Dobbs and Jacob Fife on 71-lap old tires are still slower than Seth Well on 91-lap old tires. So that is especially impressive. Cody Smith holding on as well. Now, it's going to be all about whether or not these guys have enough fuel to go all the way. I don't know, and I don't believe that they will. So Seth Well is eventually going to have to pit, but now he is still out in front with 31 laps remaining. Ethan Lane only 15 seconds behind your race leader, and that time by, he ran a 24.0. Now 21.4, or rather 24.1, as he's gaining in just about 1 second every lap. That time by for Ethan Lane is going to be 24.2, so still gaining, but he is slowly but surely losing tire going into the battle for the lead. Touching the paint there, getting some grip, as Seth Well takes it to lap number 93. Jacob Fife side by side with Alan Dobbs. We're right aboard with Alan Dobbs here. That time by, it looks like Jacob Fife has that inside line. Now he has the high side. It's going to be a crossover maneuver here, as Dobbs is going to be right behind the man in that number 36 machine, and Jacob able to make the move, keeping himself in second here, and the 36 out in front. Second spot, no signs of him pitting just yet, and he's going to be able to keep himself in a good motion circulation of that tire. It looks like he's got a much better grip on it compared to the good majority of these drivers. Alan Dobbs is there in third, and Matt Jonas is going to be able to make the move this time by. It looks like he will not. 29 laps remaining here in Rockingham. It's going to be the driver number 36 holding on strong with Alan Dobbs in third. Don Stevenson is going to be in fourth here with Cody Smith going to be pretty far back in fifth. Top five separated by now 9 seconds. Stan Carnathan gaining in slowly but surely on Cody Smith with a 90-lap-old set himself. He's going to be fighting to get up into the top five. Stan Carnathan having a series of strong runs as a rookie in this league. Now just about 0.5 of a second, a half second off of the man in fifth, and he'll continue to battle on to get there as the night goes on. Seth Well going to be able to come out of the stripe this time by. That's going to be 27 laps to go. 96 laps into this pit stint, and he is not pitted in almost 100 laps. Unbelievable how long he's gone as he gets squirrely once again. I think he's running out of fuel this time by. That he appears to not be, but this could be it as Seth Well going to shake the tank that time by, and it looks like this experiment is not over, and unbelievably he's going to go until 100 laps. Jacob Fife going to be able to hold on with Nicholas Ward here, and Ward going to be able to fend off the number 36 machine on the inside line. One driver going to blink, that's Matt Jonas, and still Fife rolls on, losing time Alan Dobbs is, as Don Stevenson slowly but surely gaining in on him. Cody Smith going to have Stan Carnathan all over him. Ethan Lane now going to be able to make up to fifth. Unbelievable what this man has been able to do. He has made his way up into the top five on a long green flag run. He's going to have to make up 9 more seconds with 25 more laps. Is it possible? Maybe, but it's going to be all about the power that Ethan Lane has in his car. He's done this before. Rockingham in the Ignite Series. Thomas Bressie had the advantage, and he was able to run out several seconds, but Ethan Lane ran him down and got a buzzer-beating victory, so to speak. Final turn, final lap, comes home on top because of a perfect maneuver on that 24 machine. So the 26 looks to be able to make that happen once again. 8 seconds separates Seth Well and Ethan Lane, and Noel still going to be out in front here as he has a bit of trouble getting it off the corner with a bit more power. So 24 laps remaining, and he wants this thing done and done here and now. Losing 1 second a lap, Seth Well is still going to try to be able to hold on. Jacob Fife going to be now only about 4 seconds away from being passed for the man in that number 88 machine as 23 laps are here to do, and Ethan Lane is gaining in on your race leaders as Seth Well going to be coming out of the back straightaway, and 23 become 22 laps to go. You know that means trackcam22.com. They're cranking it up uninterrupted. The best cameras on iRacing. We hope you enjoy seeing them as much as we enjoy using them. Check out their link in the description as we go. 22 laps to go. Cranking it up. Brought to you by Trackcams for Gorba's. We'll be right back in just a few laps time. And with 17 laps to go, Sethwell leads here in Rockingham, but it is not a close margin between him and third. It's going to be a close margin between him and second. And look at who is in that second spot. It's Ethan Lane. He's clawed his way back out. He's gotten a whole lap back almost entirely under green, and now it's going to be 17, becoming 16 laps to go, and he's going to have to claw away 16 tenths to get the victory. So far, he's about half a second faster lap after lap, so gaining in that time won't be much of an issue. As 160 laps in, the man out in front has been losing time lap after lap. A non-stop loss for the driver to Sethwell on 107 lap old tires, and he's going to be able to make it happen. This could be the risk of the century, as 16 laps to become 15, and Ethan Lane is now within a second of the lead, and he's able to make it happen. It will be a cruise home to victory, but it is all not said and all not done just yet. Sethwell knows he's got a trick under his sleeve, and it's been that advantage. As he gets by one more lap card, he'll need one more pickoff, and that looks to be Jay Haishman right in front of the mix. Ethan Lane still trying to make it happen here. This could be the passenger lead if he gets by Matt Jonas nice and smooth, and now it's going to be 3/10 of a second. At this pace, he'll catch him and pass him this lap through. 14 laps to do it. Going to get slowed down by Matt Jonas on the high side there. Going to be side by side, and Jonas going to now have a big run. Double file they are for the race lead, and Sethwell still out there, but Ethan Lane going to come through like a rocket ship him, take the lead with 14 laps to go, and it's going to become a baker's dozen with a new race leader, and he has laced himself throughout the entirety of this run. Ethan Lane is now your race leader, and Sethwell comes on the pit road immediately as soon as he loses that lead. Nick Terrible's going to be there in second, and now it's going to be a final pit stop for the man who led for oh so long, 107 laps on that stint, and now with 12 laps to go after he comes to the stripe, Ethan Lane will just have to cruise home from here to sweep Rockingham in this season and sweep Rockingham as well as the week. Jacob Fife going to come in as well. The risk is not paid off. Nick Terrible's now going to be in second, and it's going to be Alan Dobbs holding on in third. Will he come in this time by? It looks like he just might, as Stan Carter now going to be in sixth. If Alan Dobbs comes in, that will promote Brad Patton, Don Stevenson, and Stan Carter up a spot, but we will see what these guys have in store. It looks like with 11 laps remaining, Carterton and Stevenson could be able to hold on there, as it was about 105 the limit on tire and fuel for these guys. Alan Dobbs getting chased by Brad Patton, a 60 lap tire difference, and he's going to be able to scoot on by like Ethan Lane did to Sethwell. Nice and easy. Brad Patton's going to be able to make it through for the third position. Alan Dobbs there in fourth. Stevenson is in fifth, and right now Stan Carterton going to be able to hold on with about half a second advantage over Guillermo Alvarez, but Alvarez is coming in like a rocket ship with 10 laps to go, and it's going to be all about holding on to the positions he can keep. Alvarez comes out of the line at the 83 on the 82, and looks like this time advantage 83. Going to be able to come on by with a lot of speed and a lot of pace. New position for number 6 machine is going to be Guillermo Alvarez up there right outside your top 5. Don Stevenson, the next man he's going to be chasing, as drivers continue to get themselves settled in. This one is one of the most interesting green flag runs we've seen. Drivers holding on for 100 laps. And that's one of those risks you don't see all too much in iRacing, but the Integrity Racing League, these guys do it a bit different, and they do it well. And when they put a risk on, well, they're going to stick to it no matter how it goes, as it's going to be Sethwell now in the 16th position. Dan Carter looks to be done, and done according to time and scoring for just a moment, but no, he is not. He's going to be now in 8th. Caitlin Haight getting the next man, and the next woman, as a matter of fact, to chase him down, and she's going to be right there with Jacob Fife now trying to get his lap back, and it's going to be all about getting his laps back immediately as Caitlin Haight comes in very soon into the frame. She's going to try to get these final few odds. Stan Carterton goes up to the wall here. If Carterton can keep it in the lead lap, it is an automatic top 10, but going to be an awful lot of trouble, and Caitlin Haight going to be able to get by with 7 laps remaining. So drivers who play that risk are now slowly but surely losing time and losing position. Don Stevenson is still in 5th, as Sethwell going to come flying by. Alan Dobbs is going to be in 4th with 96 lap old tires. How about this? Alan Dobbs might be the man who wins the big strategy game, even if it's not going to be the victory. He's holding on with a 96 lap old set, and he has not had to pit just yet. I don't believe with now what is going to be 5 laps to go next time through, he will pit. I think this is going to be it, and Dobbs will run it out until the sunset here. The guy behind him is Don Stevenson with the same set of tires. And while Don Stevenson is indeed quicker, it's not going to be by all too much. Going to be a bit of a shuffle here with Alan Dobbs involving himself with a few lap cars. Bobby Ross is going to be the driver of the 8 machine, as well as Seth Well. And all these guys getting oh so close to each other. Guy Petro there. It's going to be all about patience and consistency. Has 5 laps to get anything else you can get out of this race. 171 laps in, and drivers are settling in one last time. Stevenson has about 2 seconds ahead of Guillermo Alvarez here. Stan Carnelton falls back into 9th, and Chris Schessler going to be now the final driver on the lead lap, chasing down Stan for 10th, and this one looks to be an open and shut battle. Going to go advantage number 24 machine easily. It's going to be the Yoo-Hoo number 24. High and by in just about a turn's time. Now it's John Stevenson only having a second's worth of advantage over Guillermo Alvarez with 4 laps to go. These battles, they are brewing, and it looks like Jacob Fife could be there in the mix, and Jacob Fife could be able to easily take it up on Don Stevenson. Stevenson goes way high here with 3 laps remaining. That's not a lot of time. That's about a minute's worth at the very most. So Stevenson, he's able to hold on, could make it happen. Alan Dobbs looks to be in the safe zone. 100 laps on his tires, and he is still there in the 4th spot. Impressive for him. Don Stevenson is also close to getting there. Guillermo Alvarez is going to try to make it 2 for 1 with 2 laps on the board here. It's going to be Alvarez shooting 3 this time by. He's going to almost get Don Stevenson that time by. Now he's going to be able to go running for 4th spot, side by side of the line with 2 laps remaining here for the 4th spot. And Alvarez is going to be able to get it that time through. Don Stevenson not going to be able to hold on. A great fight, and now he's going to put that valiant effort into the 6th spot. Stan Carnelton going to be in 10th right now. He looks to be 1 lap down. Joe Yates going to be catching up to him in about a lap's time, but Ethan Lane played the strategy game just right. And as we come down to the start-finish line, let it be known this man clawed through the field, 1 lap down, under green, nothing except raw talent, and he will come home on top. The driver of the number 26 machine, Ethan Lane, wins the 3rd round of the season here at Rockingham and sweeps the week in the Integrity Racing League. How about that? Terabutch 2nd, Brad Patton 3rd, and Alan Dobbs comes home in 4th, and unbelievably, he's going to be able to make it slightly over, well, Guillermo Alvarez. And it looks like Dobbs going to fall down into 5th at the tail end of it. Brad Patton, final driver on the podium. He spoke just a bit too soon. That 83 got him at the line, and that is your podium. 26, 4, and 1. Ethan Lane, position number 1. Once again, what a show put on by the man in that number 26 to go 2 for 2 on the week. Incredible job as we get your race results out after what a great race this was. And as Ethan Lane burns it down, he comes out top of the board over Nick Terabutch in 2nd and Brad Patton 3rd, with Guillermo Alvarez right behind him in position number 4. Then it's going to be Alan Dobbs in 5th, Don Stevenson 6th, Ross Cato going to be 8th. Of course, now down Kalen Haight is in 8th as Ross Cato makes it up into 7th, and Chris Schessler, the final driver to lead lap, in 9th, with Stan Carnelton 1 lap down in 10th. Then it's going to be Joe Yates 11th, Trevor Trago going to be in 12th, Seth Well going to be 13th, and Alan Rowe position number 14, Jacob Fife 15th, Jay Haishman 16th, and Cody Smith 2 laps down in 17th. Guy Petra 18th, Luis Caballero going to be in the 19th spot, and Kevin Matz going to be in position number 20. From there on out, we're going to see the remainder of the field. Kevin Matt's going to be 3 laps down as Bobby Ross is 21st. Stephen Wetton's going to be 22nd. Randy Fires 23rd. Jorge Canales going to be in 24th. And Matt Jonas going to be in position number 25. Nicholas Ward going to be 26th. Farrell Ryan going to be in that 27th spot. Sam Nito 28th. Mike Maddox going to be 29th. And finally, Boomer Logan rounds out your 30-car field here in the Rock. And what a race that was for the man at the top of the board, Ethan Lane. Going to be able to sweep the week and come home victorious at Rockingham on a Tuesday night. And how about that? What a way to go here. 1 lap down, and you got it back under green and came home on top.
Yeah, it was a good race. A lot of different strategies there. I knew if it went green, we had to pit halfway through that run, or else we'd lose too much time. We'd fallen off like 1.1 to 1.2 seconds after 50 laps, and I knew if anyone stayed out for too long, it wouldn't be worth any time. And it just worked out.
And certainly strategy able to work out, having clawed your way through the field, eventually getting that lead with just about 14 laps to go. So how was it going through from a lap car to position number 1?
It was it was intense, especially that long run and with green flag pit stops and everything. It was interesting. It was definitely fun. Glad we had that long run at the end with those rash of cautions after lap 50. Made everything worth it there.
And certainly able to get that long run, which played into your benefit there. So tires, it looks like tire degradation did play a major factor at the tail end of this race. And how was it managing your tire to the tail end?
From when we pitted on, it was like, all right, we just gotta push, but not push too hard because we knew Nick was really strong. After about 35 to 40 laps, he pretty much ran us down almost before he pitted. And then I decided to pit, and he pitted with us, and we just kind of extended that gap. It was fun.
And certainly able to have a fun ride there, coming home on top. And the next time we go racing on Tuesday nights, I do believe we'll be heading down to Las Vegas to Motorsport Speedway. Do you expect to go and win the jackpot there on Tuesday nights as well?
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Not a big fan of this car, but we are a big fan of Vegas, so we'll go see how that goes next week.
And there we have it, Ethan Lane coming home on top in the third round of the Integrity Octane Series here at Rockingham. Anyone you'd like to thank?
Want to thank y'all for putting on these shows every Monday and Tuesday. For Don, Jacob, and everyone putting on this league every Monday and Tuesday. It's really fun. The competition has ramped up this year. And I just want to shout out chicken sandwiches. Best ones are found at Popeyes.
And there we have it, Ethan Lane, top of the board, and looks like thanking Popeyes there, but still, doesn't matter what he eats, no matter how he's driving, wins here at Rockingham, third round of the season. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Drag him right back in, and we will get your second place driver on the night, Nick Terabuch, from strength to strength here tonight. Able to come home in the second spot, and actually able to start it up front. So from pole to second here tonight, a great consistent run. What was your key to success here at Rockingham?
Oh man, it was consistency, I guess, and really not trying to lose it off of 2 there. The whole last run. I mean, I feel like the second to last run, I was running Ethan down, and he burnt his stuff up more. And the end of the last run, when I was out of traffic, I was catching him and running faster lap times. But just by the time the race ended, I had lost so much time. And Ethan's he's the goal to reach in terms of speed and consistency and stuff. So it's something to work towards.
And while it is, of course, something to work towards, you certainly put in the work to put in a great run and find yourself in second in that long green flag run with some very intense strategy. Now, we saw that Ethan Lane went a lap down, and since you were right there with him on strategy, it looks like you did well, able to claw your way back up into second. How did that strategy come to play?
Well, I was really just going to follow whatever Ethan did because I knew me and him were about equal over a run. I tried to save tires because last week I didn't save tires and ended up, really having a bad time, finishing like 17th. So I was like, all right, I want to save tires this time. I'm going to be responsible and not take tires earlier in the race and whatnot, which didn't really matter in the end. So it was really just trying to stay on strategy with Ethan and not burn the stuff up too quickly at the end. It ended up working out. We got second. We outran a lot of the guys we were hanging with by multiple seconds. So I can't say it didn't work out all the way. It's just so close.
And absolutely a very close battle at the tail end. Strategy just seemed to play in Ethan Lane's favor, but yours as well, coming home in second. And the next time we go racing here on Tuesday nights, Las Vegas, hitting Sin City once again. What's your goal there?
The goal there is, again, I think that this car is going to be pretty on edge the whole time. So it's just going to be consistency and trying to stay out of trouble, which is a big one, qualify up front. Clean air seems to be a really big factor now with the updates they made to the car. So, it's going to be another race, just consistency and hopefully not, too many big wrecks. Hopefully a lot of cars come out and it'll be a fun time.
At home and see a fun time as the next gens have been updated here on iRacing, and despite all of that, Terabuch coming home here in second. Anyone you'd like to thank and anything to wrap it off?
Yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody that came and watched the stream. Thank you for broadcasting and commentating again. I want to thank Yingling for sponsoring the car, Neil for painting the car, and everybody go get you a Popeye's chicken sandwich because it's good stuff.
2 for 2 in the Popeyes references here. Nick Terabut's going to be second on the board, and it looks like Popeye's a fan favorite for our podium sitters. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
And there we have it. Something certainly going on here. Let's see if Brad Patton makes us 3 for 3 here. Let's get Brad Patton, number 1 machine, that number, able to keep himself on the podium. Not position number 1, but nonetheless a solid third place showing. Brad Patton, how you feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
A great run for you here. Strategy seemed to fall in your favor to get that podium spot, and it was a tough battle with all the drivers on older tires to get there, but you came home in third. So can you walk us through that final, about 100-lap run?
Well, I knew Ethan was definitely the dominant car of the night. I was still searching around and trying to find speed, so I started going up to the high side there, and I started finding a little something out of 3 and 4. Like, nobody could pass me on the inside, and I was all right with that. I was maintaining position in that. But once I knew that my tires were starting to go, I had to obviously let Nick go. And I was just, I was content riding around in third until we got to the pit stops. And I was getting ready to call out my pit. And Ethan called his out. So I was like, well, I'll just stay out for a couple of laps, hope for maybe some destruction on the new tires versus old tires. Never came. Went down pit road, got my tires, and then I just had to battle my way back. It was fun coming through those last probably 20, 25 laps, trying to catch, get back on the lead lap first of all, and then trying to catch Ethan and them. I think if I would have had about 5 to maybe 10 more laps and maybe even like a Chick-fil-A sandwich or something like that, I think I might have been able to catch second, but I don't think I was ever going to catch Ethan. He was definitely the car to beat tonight.
So it appears your team Chick-fil-A after 2 Popeyes references here, but still, strategy up front, and it looks like Ethan Lane one of the men to beat here, but still third place here, and we're going to be going racing at Las Vegas like we did on Monday night here in the Tuesday night series, the Octane Series, next week. So what's it going to be for you to get it on top there?
First, we're going to start off with a Chick-fil-A sandwich with a pickle on it. That just hits the spot, and I'm going to eat that right before this race, and then maybe after the race go to Popeyes. But I think it's just going to be a battle of attrition. As you've seen last night, I got wrecked as I was working my way up through the field. I think it's just going to be dodge the big one and hope and pray that I can finish in the top 10 again. Like I like the start of the season so far. I was second in points. I don't know what I am now, but if we can keep battling and keep getting these top 10s, it's looking pretty good for me.
And certainly looking pretty good. Consistency has been key so far. Brad Patton coming home on third tonight. Anyone else you'd like to thank, and any final thoughts?
Thank you for the broadcast. I'll thank all my chicken sponsors. I'll thank the boys for helping me out. Seeing how I didn't get any practice laps in, I just came in straight qualified. Thank Integrity. I got to thank Next Level Racing for coming on board and providing us with a badass winner. Winner gets the sim rig, which is cool as hell. And I'm looking forward to more sponsorships like that. And speaking of sponsorships, if anybody wants to sponsor me for the Monday Night Xfinity car, more than welcome. I'll put anything on a car. I don't care.
And there we have it. Brad Patton looking for anything here as he thanks his chicken sponsors. 3 for 3 there on the podium. And thank you once again for stopping by.
Hey, man, have a good night. Go get that Chick-fil-A.
There we go. And it looks like Chick-fil-A represented by Brad Patton there. And it's a tale of chicken, a tale of tires, and a tale of strategy. And only one man can come on top, and that is Ethan Lane, winning the third round here from Rockingham. Got to thank every single viewer who stopped by tonight for the broadcasting and the commentary, production as well. I'm David Kreutz, and able to put together this show, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Ethan Lane, your race winner, as we get this thing on our way. Next time we go live, we're going to be heading upstate to Watkins Glen, New York. Going to be a great show in the FORL Cup Series on Wednesday night. Next time the Ignite Series and the Octane Series come back, Okayama and Las Vegas, respectively. The Integrity Swing of the Week is over, and we hope to see you whenever we're back live on FDN. And we hope to see you, of course, tomorrow night and whenever you are available. Thank you all for your support dearly, and we hope you have a great night.